So interestingly, the news has been everywhere all over the internet that PDP has finally subpoenaed Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the INEC Chairman, to appear before the tribunal and testify, and also produce certain document. Now, the questions have been coming. A lot of interesting questions have been coming on the online, but there's one that's very important that strikes me a lot. It's the question of what happens if he fails to appear before the tribunal. Like, if Professor Mahmood says, "Hey, I am not coming, guy," what will happen? What option does PDP have? Now, that's a very beautiful question. But before we answer that question, let's basically understand what a subpoena is. Now, a subpoena is a process of court by which a person or persons are commanded, I use that word, commanded or summoned before the court to either produce a document or to testify on behalf of a party or as to what they know about the subject matter. Now, if you're being asked to, if you're being commanded to come to appear in court to testify, that's a subpoena ad testificandum. In the case of to produce a document before the court, that is subpoena duces tecum. It's saying, oh, Oga, you're commanded to produce before this honorable court this certain document. Now, this is especially when a person is in possession of a document and there's a likely possibility that he won't be willing to release the document. Now, you can come by virtue of a subpoena duces tecum. In the case of subpoena ad testificandum, there's a likelihood that this person may not want to actually come before the court to testify because whatever testimony he may give may be adverse to maybe himself or the other party, especially when the person you're actually subpoenaing before the court is either an employee of the other of the adverse party or a member of the adverse party. Now, but it's not in all cases that a subpoena must be against a party who's unwilling. Sometimes you issue a subpoena when you feel that, okay, yes, this person may be willing, but maybe for the purpose of work or something, the employer may not be willing to release him or her. Yes, then you can now subpoena with it. So it's on record that it's coming from the court. Now, the idea behind a subpoena is it is issued under the hand of a judge. The judge makes the final order, signs the final order that is directing and commanding the person to appear. If you've looked at the words of most subpoena, the forms of, because it's actually prescribed, the form of a subpoena, that is how it looks like, is prescribed by the rules of court. Most subpoena, the most rules of court, if you look at the form of subpoena, it's almost the same thing. You see that part where it says you are commanded in the name of the Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic. You are commanded. They are not begging you. You are to appear before the court, either to produce documents or to testify. Now, there's a species of subpoena known as the subpoena ad testificandum educes tecum. Now, that is a subpoena commanding you, summoning you to come before the court to testify and produce certain documents. In that case, you must obey. And like I said, it is one issued under the hand, that's under the seal, the signature of a judge. The judge signs it. And once it's issued and served on you, you must obey it. Now, what happens when you don't? It's just like saying a court has made an order. The subpoena is more like an order of court. It contains that order, or like command, that order of the court signed by the judge, asking you to come, and you say you don't want to come. At that point, you can actually be cited for contempt of court. Contempt means a disregard or contempt means disobedience or disregard for the court and of the inherent powers of the court. So when a subpoena is issued against you and you refuse to appear before the court, my dear, that is what we call contempt. You're in contempt of the court and you can be committed to prison for it. So in the event, to answer the question, in the event Professor Mahmood Yakubu refuses, I'm not sure he would want to refuse the order of court, refuses to appear before the tribunal, he can be cited for contempt of court and he can be committed for contempt of court, committed to prison until he purges himself. And one beautiful thing about contempt is, especially one where it is against the order of court, the court can cite you and will remand you until you purge yourself. So, I hope our dear professor will avail himself or appear before the tribunal and giving the necessary testimony or producing the necessary document that's been requested where he can or where it's possible to produce the document, he should appear before the tribunal. If not, he can be cited for contempt of court, and being cited for contempt of court, you can be committed to prison. So that's what happened when a subpoena has been issued and a person actually fails or refuses without a justifiable reason, without a reason that makes sense, without something that yes can be held to be justifiable. Man, you're going to prison. You're going to be committed for. You're going to be cited for contempt, and if he has not taken, you can be committed for it. So this is likely what can happen. This is Law Theory Niger. My name is Arajon Obizoba. Don't forget to always tune in. Always check out our episode. Always check the channel for insightful episodes. For episodes that will teach you things you need to learn about Nigerian law. We'll keep discussing things as they come, especially with regards to Nigerian law and Nigerian system. It's important that we get to teach ourselves this so that, yes, when we step outside, you can appreciate better what is happening. And in the event the wrong things are being done, you can say, oh, yes, this is the way it should be. I've heard the lawyer talk about it, so I've watched this on the video. You need to always stay ahead and abreast of every information and every knowledge you can get. So like I said, my name is Arajon Obizoba. Don't forget to Law Theory Niger. Share if you haven't shared. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and please get others to subscribe and enjoy episodes on this Law Theory Niger. Thank you very much.